Call Northside 777 dash dash. Well, now go on and sit yourself down. That chair there, yeah, the one with the cushion that's seen better days, that'll do just fine. Evening's cooling off nice, crickets are tuning up out there, and I've got a few minutes before the sun calls it quits behind those maples. And I'll tell you a story, a true one that still makes me rub my chin a little whenever I think about how close truth came to getting lost for good. It started, believe it or not, with a classified ad. Not a big one, no picture, no fancy borders, just a plain little square tucked in the corner of page 7, right between some fellow trying to sell a set of used tires and a woman looking for a lost tabby cat named Buttons. But this ad said $5,000 reward for information clearing my son in the 1932 murder of Officer Bundy. Now, $5,000 back then was no pocket change. Why, that was the kind of money farmers prayed for when the rains were late and the corn was lean. So I thought, well, now, who on earth saved up that kind of money? Turns out it was a little Polish woman, barely bigger than a bundle of kindling, who had been scrubbing office floors for more than 10 years. Back bent, knees creaking, hands all cracked from soap and water, every penny she earned went into a jar. And when the jar got full, she emptied it into another one. Also, she could put that little ad in the paper. I remember meeting her, quiet voice, but a spine like a steel beam. She looked at me, not angry, not desperate, just dead sure, and said, "My Frank, he is innocent." And I'll tell you, something in the way she said innocent made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Not a tremble or a waver. It was like she was telling me the sun was going to rise tomorrow. Just a fact. So I figured I'd look into it. Not because I believed her at first, mind you, well, maybe a little, but mostly because I'd learned over the years that sometimes the smallest voices end up telling the biggest truths. I started knocking on doors, talking to folks who were around back in 1932. Some of them remembered the case like yesterday. Some remembered it like a dream after a heavy meal. Foggy, mixed up, pieces missing. The bartender who swore he saw Frank pull the trigger, well, his stories changed more often than the weather in April. And the police files, mercy, those were locked up so tight you think they contained recipes for the world's greatest biscuits. Nobody wanted me looking. Nobody wanted the case stirred up again. That right there got me curious. See, when folks get real uncomfortable about old papers being read, that's usually when you should read them. Then we brought in one of those lie detectors, a brand new contraption back then. Looked like someone had borrowed parts from a radio, a sewing machine, and maybe a broken toaster wires everywhere. Needles twitching like they had fleas. Frank sits down in front of it, calm, real calm, the kind of calm you see in a man who's walked through storms so long he doesn't jump at thunder anymore. Questions get asked, one by one. Did you kill the officer? Were you at the scene? Did you even know the man? Needles barely move. And I think to myself, well, Jimmy, seems you stumbled onto something mighty important. So I keep digging, slow and steady, like prying open an old paint can without spilling anything. Witnesses who were too scared, others who were too proud to admit they got things wrong, a justice system that figured it had done enough and didn't need me pointing fingers at its mistakes. I'll tell you something. Truth can be a quiet thing, doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just stands in the corner and waits for someone with good ears to hear it. One day, after pushing and prodding and near wearing holes in my shoes, the whole case begins to shift. Not much at first, just a little creak, like when an old porch step finally decides it's had enough of staying crooked. But then, just like that, doors open, papers get unsealed, folks talk. And what comes out of all that? Well, Frank Weechick didn't do it. Never did. The man was innocent as a newborn foal standing up for the first time. And when they finally opened that prison gate and let him walk out, well, I'll admit it, I felt a lump in my throat. Big one, too. And his mama, oh, she cried. But they were the sort of tears that wash years of dust off a soul. As for me, I went back to the paper, typed up the whole story with fingers that felt just a little shakier than usual. Not from fear, no, but from knowing that every once in a while a fella gets to help right or wrong, even if it's just by telling the truth out loud. And I've thought about that case many times since. Every time I hear a mop sloshing across the floor or smell that old pine cleaner, I remember that little woman with her big heart. And I think maybe justice isn't blind. Maybe she just takes a long time to find her glasses. Now, how about that lemonade? I've got a pitcher inside, cold as a mountain stream,